Okay, welcome to the channel. This is Marcus Maths, and we're going to be going over all types of maths, mainly focusing on SAT for now, and the following concepts like Algebra 1 and Geometry, very influential in that SAT math. We'll be going over the entirety of the Khan Academy Digital Math course, and also moving on to some practice tests in the future as well. So, to start off, we'll be going over solving linear equations and inequalities, foundational skills, moderate and advanced as well. We'll be covering everything in the course over these videos. So a little bit about me. I am an independent tutor. I just wanted to branch out to YouTube and give this a try because I thought it would be quite fun here. The reason why I'm qualified for this, I'll show my scores on the screen right now. 1550 on SAT, and I'm aiming for that perfect 1600 when I retake the SAT very soon. And I thought this would be some great preparation, me going over the course and showing you guys how to do this stuff. So, first thing here, solving linear equations and inequalities, we're going to have a few basic elements. We're going to have a variable, and letter to represent an unknown quantity. We're going to have some constants, and the goal for all of these is to be isolating that variable or getting the variable by itself. This will happen through inverse operations, as we'll see when we start to tackle this question. So solving linear equations means we have an equal sign, which this is right here. Inequalities means we have a greater than, a less than, a greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to sign in replacing that equal sign. So let's get started. The whole premise here is to isolate the variable. We have z over here, and we need to get it by itself. So we should be looking, what is on the same side as z? We have this negative 26 on the same side as z. So in order to isolate the z or get it by itself, we need to move over or get rid of this negative 26. How we do this? We need to add 26 to both sides. So if it's negative 26, to get rid of it, we do the inverse operation, meaning adding 26 to both sides. So addition and subtraction, we change both sides. Multiplication or division, we change every term. That's definitely very important. So after adding 26 to both sides, it cancels out on our left side, and then 15 plus 26 is 41. So we are left with z equals 41. So SAT math, you may not have the most time. This is a timed test. However, if you're any time that you are unsure with an answer, go ahead and plug the variable back into our equation here. This is a foolproof way to check. So we have negative 26 plus 41. And we'll see if that equals 15. So negative 26 plus 41 is indeed positive 15. So we are left with 15 equals 15, which is a true statement. So our answer is indeed 41. So the value of z is 41. Okay, moving on to our next question. We have an inequality here. How we can see this is that we have an inequality sign, less than or equal to. Same premise as our equation that we saw in the last question. We need to get the variable by itself. So what is next to the variable here? We have a 3. What is the 3 doing to the variable? Whenever a constant or a coefficient in this case is right next to a variable, they are multiplying with each other. So in order to get rid of that, we need to divide by 3 on each side. So we divide by 3 for each term. 3 divided by 3 cancels out to 1. 1x is equal to x. And then we have 7 over 3 here. Less than or equal to 7 over 3. So our sign does not change here. Inequality signs only switch when we multiply or divide by a negative number. I'm sure we'll see a question like that later on. But here we have x is less than or equal to 7 over 3. And we look for the answer that best matches that. And they're just looking for our sign, less than or equal to right here. And then to make sure we have our 7 over 3. So answer choice C is the correct answer here. Okay, moving on to our next question. We have p minus 18 equals 3. Equations. just like inequalities, we look what is next to the p that we need to isolate or get rid of. So here we have p minus 18 equals 3. How we get rid of minus 18? We do the inverse operation. Last question we did division to offset multiplication. Here we need to do addition to offset subtraction. So we add 18 to both sides. Once again, cancels out. On our right side, we are left with p. And then p equals 21. 3 plus 18 is 21. So 21 is the value of p. Moving on to our last answer here. Last question here. Very similar. We have r minus 14 equals 23. What's next to our variable r? It is negative 14. So in order to get rid of negative 14, we need to do the inverse operation of addition. We add 14 to both sides. And then we are left with 23 plus 14, which is 37. And r equals 37. So that was 4 SAT practice questions, kind of the easiest step there, but it will progress over time. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I just wanted to show you guys an inequality question where we are either dividing or multiplying by a negative number in order to isolate our variable and just see what happens to our inequality sign. So here we have x divided by negative 8 is greater than or equal to negative 5. As we know, we need to do the inverse operation in order to isolate the variable. X is being divided by negative 8. So to get rid of that, we need to multiply each term by negative 8. So this cancels out on our left side. And then negative 5 times negative 8 is 40. So we are left with x something 40. So as I mentioned, we need, when we multiply or divide by a negative number, our sign needs to switch. So this is a greater than or equal to sign. When we multiplied by that negative 8, it switches to less than or equal to. So our answer here is x is less than or equal to 40. Alright, I believe that will be all for this first video of foundations of linear equalities, inequalities, and equations. I hope to see you guys as I go over the moderate and expert or advanced versions of these same skills inside Khan Academy Digital SAT Math Practice. If you wanted to do some extra practice, I recommend going on here yourself and giving some of these a try independently. But I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.